I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish frames on my face. Looking like I'm from the deep, these no Cartiers. Pockets deep, 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 bro. I can make it in my seat, bro. Do you, I'm doing me, bro. Making noise, use a beat, bro. Whoa, I press the button and the doors go off like, whoa. That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Neighborhood on the scene, neighborhood on the strip. Neighborhood be the name, neighborhood no crib. Neighborhood that's me, neighborhood that's Nick. Neighborhood do the dance, neighborhood do the deal. Okay, thought I'd never make it like no way. I'm the real deal, no role play. My days off, that's no days. No, I hustle hard, young rose. E be the shooter, that's cold case. Those on the deals, that's brose. Got no pay, don't no say. Okay, this the news, tell them read it.
What up? It's Wednesday. We're back again.
What up?
Yo.
Hanging by a thread, to be honest, and we'll get into this. The heavy metal was probably good that it was pushed back just for my sanity because I'm running on fumes right now. And so if I also was like, oh shit, I want to stay up all night and explore this, then I'd really be in trouble. Yeah. So, dudes, how's it been? How you living? What's new?
Oh man, just one day at a time right now, you know?
That's where you're at. Damn. All right.
Yeah,
I just went
here.
Well, real briefly, I just went through the most emotional roller coaster in the last 24 hours, and oh man. Thankfully,
so backstory, we stabled up some to USDC, right? Around like 1940, 1950-ish range. And watched it, trickled all the way down to the 1820s or whatever. And we were like, okay, sweet. Like, yeah, we've got a good re-entry, whatever. And then all of a sudden this morning, we shot from like 1820 all the way up to like 1940 or whatever. And
1960.
1960.
I was feeling the burn, dude. I went from like
Will was panicking.
I went from my stable bag being like multiple ETH in profit of what I could rebuy to like suddenly I can buy less ETH than I had originally took out. And so I was like, oh crap, man. I think I just like cooked my goose, man. I was like Dunsky. But you know,
hit the hard
mistakes were made in somebody else's wallet today, and we took a nosedive, bro.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I saw that, but I just was like not. It's probably good actually for my mental that I'm so like kind of away from the space a little bit that I saw it, but I was like, there was no reaction because I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm not near my wallet. I'm not near my funds. I'm sitting here at school teaching a bunch of high schoolers. Like, screw it. Let's go lower. And then I'll rebuy when it's at 1,000. No, I don't know. I've felt bored for a long time. That's the one thing about heavy metal. And we'll get into that here after I swing it to Bryce, but I'm ready for something to just like explore, learn about more, hopefully have fun doing it. Like I'm really ready for that just because I just have not been active, and that's by choice, completely by choice. And this space can be trying / boring in a bad way if you're not doing something. And that's kind of where I felt for a couple weeks here. So Bryce, how's it been last week besides the mini heart attack on stabling?
Pretty good. I've actually been testing the waters with leverage trading, and it's so far I'm like 4 for 4 or 5 for 5. So I'm like, hey, this isn't too bad.
Oh God!
One of these days I'm gonna get wrecked. But as it stands right now, I'm like, all right, this is kind of fun.
You're gonna get body slammed to death.
Yeah, really looking forward to getting the light papers either for Legends of the Mara or heavy metals, just so we can dive into it.
Agreed completely. More info needed. And so I guess let's just open it up with heavy metal. Obviously, we were all kind of expecting, everybody was, that today would be the day that whatever this next step was with the heavy metal journey. And I don't remember what day it was because all the days are going kind of together for me. Monday, maybe? Was it when they announced the pushback? Yeah, I guess it was Monday. They announced a pushback, and then you went on the website, and everything was again pushed back into the summer almost. And my instant reaction, honestly, was son of a bitch, because I was just so ready to do something. But then when I like chilled for a second, I just reminded myself I would much rather them, if they found something that wasn't up to snuff or whatever it may be, I'd rather them just wait. Like I've been this patient for this long, like just kind of chilling. What's another couple weeks, as long as when they drop the newest iteration, the new information, that it's like high quality. That's my overall sentiment. But at first I was tilted for maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, I was kind of removed from heavy metal. I've got one that came from my ape, and that's the only one I've been holding on to. And I was like, most times, right, we get this like run up pre-reveal, and then there's like the post-reveal dump, and it kind of felt like a little stale. Like there wasn't like a trade to be made. There wasn't like really anything that I wanted to speculate on. So from that aspect, I don't know. This one might be the most like I don't know. I'm not placing any bets here yet. Like, I don't feel like it's time for heavy metal to be like, yo, if you're not buying all of these at one point, whatever we're at right now, you're not gonna make it. Like, I don't know. It's just like this weird feeling that I have right now. I feel like Yuga has to prove themselves through these iterations of like what they're doing. Like, I'm still kind of feeling out Legends of the Mara. Like, I want it to cook. I want it to be like spectacular. But like, I'm just keeping my expectations like at the freaking floor. I'm not getting emotionally invested with my bags, not trying to like, ride into these announcements thinking we're going to get these big pops, and then suddenly, the sky's falling because it really isn't hitting the way people thought it would hit. And so like in that sense, I don't know. I'm playing this one definitely a little more risk off on Legends of the Mara and on the heavy metal stuff. But to the other token, I also have a heavy exposure to ApeCoin. So I don't know. Risk in some places, de-risked in other places. The NFTs I'm currently de-risked on.
Fair. I was just going to add into that is like, maybe I'm becoming extremely cynical. It could be. I don't even know if it matters what it is. It could be fucking badass. There's still going to be a number of people that are just like, yeah, I'm out. Like, it could be the coolest shit ever. And like, I'm at the point, and again, it felt along the timeline, but I don't know if we talked about this. I think Bryce and I did last week, maybe. It's like, I don't know how much people really care. Yeah. Unless it's just price. Like I'm talking all, like this is just my opinion. I think that's all collections. Like, people are freaking rocking with them and like talking about them when the price is going up. Like, it's not even if they're doing cool shit, like they'll mention it and then that's it, right? And then they're like, oh, look at the floor, it's lava. And so like I agree. Like, I'm not buying anything right now at all. If I was, it's always going to be Yuga for me, just because, and I've said this before, I've become laser focused there. Me bits. Yeah. I've said this 1,000 times, and this is 1,001. I'm definitely going to buy a me bit. I really want that one that's like, seems to be in a wallet that's just never going to be active, which sucks. But I agree with me bits and heavy metals. I would also agree. Like, I think the price point they're at is probably fair. Like, how can we say that it's a must buy? We know like pretty much nothing currently, or very little, I should say. And it's a wait and see approach for me too. I agree, Will. So Bryce, what was your takeaway on the heavy metal pushback and maybe just sentiment overall?
Yeah, I mean, definitely bummed, but overall, trust in Yuga. So trust that it's going to be cool. And then just anticipating all the people that are going to be like, oh, you delayed it by a week and there was still this issue, and this issue. I mean, it's just inevitable, but just whatever.
Something else that I think I might throw out there is like, we've heard before that they're definitely building these experiences with the original $200 minter in mind when it comes to like the Bored Ape ecosystem. And so like, I think from here on out, I'm probably just going to try and keep like the $200 mindset on like the delivery from the ape ecosystem. But then like something like other deeds where there was definitely a higher buy-in. Like, to me, I'm putting more weight in, like, I want to see Legends of the Mara succeed far more than I want the heavy metal forge and all that stuff to hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want both of them to do extremely well, but like from an adoption point of view, I feel like it's getting set up on Legends of the Mara. That's really going to be like the foundation moving forward for a lot of this stuff. And so if we can get like a really strong player base on Legends of the Mara, I feel like that would like just set everything up super well. Obviously keeping the club stuff more exclusive and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely had to go and pick up a few things on that recent announcement, because to me, that was huge news that we just had about the vessels. You want to go ahead and dive into that for a second?
100% we can. Definitely.
For sure.
Let me pull up the tweet here.
Let's see.
That's an interesting thought of thinking about it as a 200 asset. Like, I know what you're saying. I get that completely. But I also hope it's not like, well, they only deserve the $250 price point of things. I know that's not what you're saying.
But that's not, I mean, yes and no, right? Like, I'm not trying to shoot for the moon on my expectations here. Like, I'm just thinking in terms of what, if I had to like have expectations towards something, deeds came out and they were expensive. I've got high expectations for Otherside. All the other stuff within the Bored Ape ecosystem, I'm just sitting back and having a good time, right? I mean, if people want to speculate and buy in at $100,000 or whatever an ape costs right now, like, I think we have that point where we've like crossed over whatever that little step is, and like we're in like the staying power asset category, right? Where it's like we're probably just going to trade right there with punks from here on out. So as long as people value digital assets, digital identity, signaling OG-ness, and people obviously want to come in and flex, and they have that sense of establishment or show that they get the space, then they're going to go in and they're going to pick up an ape. I don't think we're going to see the insane volatility. It's kind of the same thing as like with Bitcoin. You get less volatility than you do with Ethereum each cycle, and then Ethereum with all the micro cap coins. So it's like the higher up the totem pole it is, it's like the less volatile it'll be. And I think ultimately, like, that wouldn't be the worst thing we see coming from apes. Like, if we can just kind of like steadily, hang out here throughout the rest of the bear market, the market starts going up into the next bull market, whenever that is, year, 2 years. I'm not going to try and say I know when, but like, let's just like keep some steadiness, right? We've got so many factors pulling at us right now with BendDAO, loans, and then, all of the blur bidding shenanigans. So it's just like, I don't know. I think from here, like, let's just chill. Let's have great experiences get delivered that, we have now 30,000 heavy metals where people can also use those to come experience the Bored Ape ecosystem. And then, I don't know, heavy metal is going to just be that entry point into the experiences. So it's kind of like a weird tempering of expectations kind of thing going on here.
I guess I don't think about the floor price, but my expectation for having a Bored Ape is still extremely high. Like, I'm not expecting airdrop after airdrop. That's not it at all. But I think when they do things, it'll still be massively impactful. If not, to be frank, I don't know why I would have a Bored Ape anymore.
Well, I mean, we've had this conversation before, potentially switching an ape out for more mutants, just because the ratios just make sense. You end up getting more value if you just hold more apes versus if you hold the top tier ape.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think in that sense, maybe we'll have like a strange closing of the gap between apes and mutants. It's not going to look like, apes are 50 ETH and mutants are 25, but it certainly could start to push that way. I don't know. This is definitely a weird tangent. I'm not trying to be bearish on apes right now.
I would just be so like disappointed
I'm just saying, like,
if that's
I'm not
like
buying these NFTs right now. I just don't feel like there's that.
Well, yeah, I'm
there's
not
a
buying an
good
ape either.
speculation. There's not a good. There's
you
nothing
also
that
gotta
I feel
think-
like is driving a good narrative forward for them right now.
They sold them for $100, so they don't really 200 $200. My bad.
Yeah, but I feel like that, like, I understand that point, but I think it's flawed in the same sense because they would have not even close to where they're at now had they not had those first people that minted the project. Like, I think your expectation, maybe unfairly or fairly, is it always is moving consistently. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care what career you're in. I feel like expectation has to be changing. Like, I don't know. I would just be mightily disappointed if it's just like,
Oh, we're done.
now we're just chilling. Like, I love.
No, I mean, like I don't think they're done, and I don't think that. Basically, from I guess what I'm talking from more is like a trader perspective. Like, I'm not looking to get into a Bored Ape just to swing trade it from $100,000 to $110,000. To me, there's just there's so much volatility on all of these different external factors right now that need to get worked out, and they need to get steadier over time. But it's like, you know, I think there was clearly a play to be made on vessels. I had messaged Bryce in some of the back channels saying like, oh, dude, might mess around and drop a couple, $1,000 on some vessels, and then, just hold on to them because I felt like they were going to cook. And then Otherside beat me to it with this announcement that we're looking at right here, which essentially says, hey, so environment tiers matter for worker placement. So like previously you could have bought a vessel at like 0.26 and these ran up to like 0.38 or something like that. It was a nice little swing trade with some good volatility there. So I don't know. That's where it's like still trying to work it out, trying to figure out what's going on with all of these collections. Obviously we sold back off a little bit down on vessels. But like we have this dynamic that just got introduced that is now telling us that, hey, you can put multiple vessels on one deed, and it just depends on the environment tiers how many you can put on there. And so the other big thing is that we learned that enchanters don't count as something that is limited by the tier environment. So essentially we just opened up the playing board to be significantly larger to show that, hey, we have entirely too many spots, not enough vessels that are farmers or hunters. And then we have the enchanters, which are kind of also part of that 100,000 collection, but now get chopped off and don't even count towards this other worker placement category thing. So that to me, like this is exactly what I wanted to see. This is exactly what I wanted to hear, because this creates a supply shock. Basically, if you want to max out your lands, you're going to need, multiple vessels, multiple hunters or multiple farmers, and you're also probably going to want some enchanters. So suddenly we have all this value being driven to these three groups. And what is that going to do? That's going to, increase the demand for the vessels, which is also going to increase the demand for the other deeds expanded collection, because you have to have those 1-to-1 vessel to land to get the vessels hatched into Maras. And so like when you introduce that dynamic, it's like, okay, you have a bottleneck where you need a 1-to-1, but then on the other end of it, you have a supply shock so that suddenly everybody's wanting more of the Maras. I don't know. I'm excited to see how this plays out, because this could be very good for deeds.
Are you talking for just trading perspective specifically though? Right?
Yeah, I mean, like if you're trying to trade it and you're wanting to
I just think it's
on value.
Yeah. I just think that's important to like point out, because that's like there's gonna be people that are nerding out and trying to play whatever this is to its full capacity. And then of course, naturally in the NFT space, I think 90% of people are just trading. There's definitely a play to be made financially. I'll be interested to see. Naturally, it has to be fun for people to actually want to hold on to them long term and I guess go along on the journey, whatever that is. And we know very little thus far, but I think we'll continue to see more. Kind of like our good friend had mentioned in the comments, is that potentially seeing pieces of the light paper, which I think they've kind of already started to do that. So that wouldn't be surprising to me at all. Rather than dropping the entire thing on our head, they're going to just slow drip it. They've kind of done that really this entire year has been like slow drip information, activations, games, etc.
More. Keep it coming.
Indeed. So, heavy metals, vessels, Otherside. What about the collabs? Let's talk about the Adidas drop that goes live in the United States, I think tomorrow at 9 a.m. or something. It went live in Europe and some other places today. Are you copying any of the Adidas merch? And what are your thoughts on how they're rolling that out, where a lot of it is just a public sale? The price point is like normal Adidas price points. It's not, it looks like there's no digital like attachment. So it's basically you're buying the $120 sneakers like you would any other time. This time it has indigo on the front. What are your thoughts on their kind of the mechanics of their collab?
I haven't looked super into it, but I mean, I like the mechanics, and I definitely think I might cop a pair of those shoes. Here, I think Will's got it called up. Like, those are pretty sick.
Yeah, I was looking at the white ones. I'm not a big fan. Well, maybe
I kind of like those too.
I actually like the
Those
white
are
ones.
not too bad, bro. It's
kinda
these.
cool.
It's these. I don't think I would wear. I don't.
Oh yeah,
furry
those are like the
ones?
girly high tops.
No.
Those
Air
are the
Force One.
furries.
Where's
Yeah,
the different?
I'd
view of
definitely
these?
get that-
Those are not.
that pair of the
those are
black
not too
pair.
shabby.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. I kind of want the hoodie, the fuzzy hoodie and pant. I'm not even joking. I would never wear it out, but it looks like the most comfortable thing I would
Oh,
own.
dude, like a cold day.
Literally, yes. There's like 3 cold days
Curl
in
up on the
Dallas,
couch.
but it would be worth it.
Where do I go to look at these? Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's great. You love to see it. I think I honestly I was gonna snooze on this, but after we talked about it just now, I kind of feel like I need these shoes right here at least.
I actually fuck with the
Possibly.
$110 ones legitimately. Like those to me
These?
feel like a throwback shoe.
Yeah. They're sick.
But I guess the reason I pointed out like the price point is because when we start to talk about the Puma one, it's drastically different, and obviously it's more of a direct collab where this is like Adidas using their ape, right? They own that ape. It's on all of the shoes.
Mhm.
It's a lot different than what Puma is doing. So I guess the pros and cons to both, where Puma is having some sort of digital attachment with the physical shoe, and they just announced as well. I don't know if you guys saw this. If you mint the shoes, I think there's 2,000 spots. You also get one of the 2,000 Super Pumas that they had held back, and it's not like there's some massive project, but I think they're like 0.13 floor or something like that. So if you mint the shoe, you're getting one of those as well. And who knows if you got a rare potentially, like that could be like it's a lottery ticket for sure. But it's an instant. Here's something that we're giving you digitally. I kind of wonder. This is complete speculation. I feel like a lot on the timeline has been like, how the hell is this? Is it 200 ape? Yeah, the freaking Puma shoes are 200 ape, which is like holy shit. You can put your own asset on it, which is a bit different, I suppose, and you get this digital attachment. But I almost felt like the Super Puma announcement tonight was like, hey, we do have things coming for you, and here's one before you even decide. Rather than having it all completely speculative, they said, here's one tiny little crumb of something. Now it's a Super Puma collection. I have no clue where that's going. I have not paid attention to it at all. I simply looked at the floor, and it's small, but it's like a quote unquote guaranteed like partial money back like instantly if you wanted to just dump it on the floor. So very different mechanics for sure.
For sure.
Dude, yeah, I'm a big fan of. Let me pull it up. I'm a fan. I don't really fuck with the shoes, to be honest, but I love that it's a physical item that comes with your PFP, and you can either have the fancy ones or the chilled out white and black ones. I'm getting shafted with the cream colored background again, so that kind of sucks. But I don't know, honestly, like it's not really my style. But it comes with your ape on it or whatever you want on it. And like, to me, like, I don't know. I'm like a sucker for this stuff at the end of the day.
I think that's what they know, is that we're all suckers for this shit. So like, I love the fact that they're doing this. I think the price point is insane personally, but
you also have the utility token that also plays part in Battletown, and so
I know
there's gonna be something where it's like, hey, put on your Puma shoes, and then you're gonna be like, fuck, why didn't I buy the Puma shoes?
But I feel like that's what they keep doing with all these goddamn collabs. Is like they're having this carrot that's so far out in front of you, but you can still sort of see it. Where it's like, oh, this digital thing that you're gonna probably want to have later, and it's like, can I just?
I mean, yeah. So I'm torn on this, right? Like, we just went through this with the Gucci drop. Like, that was a big spend. How much was it again?
A lot.
I don't remember. Honestly, wasn't it the same amount or slightly more? Or
it was more. I thought it was like $1,000, wasn't it? At least.
Wasn't it 400?
I thought it was 450.
Oh yeah, it was.
Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, it was steep, but it was like, okay, it's gonna have utility later on. It's gonna have
but that's like, what the fuck?
It's gonna have whatever. But like, I don't know. At the end of the day, they gave us all this ApeCoin. They literally, airdropped us so much freaking stuff. So this was an interesting comment that I saw in some of the back channels, some random group chat of 8 people. They were talking about that apes have just been airdropped too much value, that they've become complacent and nobody's shilling ApeCoin on the timeline anymore, and people are just shilling Pepe and like blah 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 blah. So like, anyways, I get it. People, the person was coming from a point of like, this is so stupid that we're not, buying ApeCoin and shilling ApeCoin. Instead, we're buying random shit coins. But like, to that point that they made previously, like, it is kind of true. Like, this is exactly what happened to punks. They got complacent and then they missed apes, right? Where it was like, you kind of just check out. You don't really. I don't know. Anyways, we don't have to get into all this nonsense, but it's definitely possible that people are getting a little complacent.
For sure.
People are just chasing shit right now, which is fine, and people have made some bags.
But at the end of the day, we did get airdropped a crap load of value, and I'm gonna carry this little stupid digital artifact along with me. So
please be really dope. Please don't just be.
Dude, I hope I get to do like at least some like cool little emote thing with my trail of VFX, like
please.
Let me just sit there. There's like some different video games where it's like, you have to recharge energy or something, where if you're like sprinting, you can only sprint for a certain amount of time. Like, there needs to be like some like idle pose where you're just like chilling in like this, jar of Coda juice, just nonsense. I don't know, dude. Like,
you sniff a Coda fire,
like, make it freaking your energy cool. Like,
regenerate.
I don't know. There's so much potential.
But again, that's where I'm like, the Puma thing. The only reason I'm even considering it is because they're like, there's this digital thing, and it's like, So I don't know. The pricing has been a little crazy. And I guess that's just the way it's gonna be. Cause like, no hate to Puma, but if this is the price for Puma, like,
I'm okay.
There's gonna be a lot more expensive collabs. That's what I'll say. Let's see. We had a couple questions in the comment section talking about 3, kind of speculative 3 enchanters depending on the sediment. How about tools as a multiplier for obtaining sediments and resources, shovel for sediments and pickaxe for certain resources? I mean, I think that's all like great speculative takes for sure. I have no clue. I stopped trying to dissect other deeds because it felt kind of like Charlie Day, whatever the hell his name is, on Always Sunny GIF, where you have like the 5,000 strings going to 7,000 different ideas you have. and you just keep adding more. That's where it was at. So I'm glad that we got a little information, obviously, on the tiers. I would think sediment would be up next, though, right? Like, doesn't that feel like the next piece of information that would make sense?
Would make sense, yeah.
Will, I'm not sure what that face is, but
Artifacts.
Yeah, bro. Make my artifacts valuable, please. I've got three Codefarts still that I'm just chilling on. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. I'm kind of annoyed right now with the whole collection fragmentation aspect because it just it threw a massive wrench in the efficiency of like whatever efficiency existed for the other side, artifacts and resources and all that stuff. And so now there's just mispricing all over the place, and it just feels weird.
fair enough.
Simply put,
there's no liquidity on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
So like if you're trying to get something with like a high resource or a high whatever, like there's a good chance you can throw some stink bids and you might get lucky.
True.
Question for you. Do you think, tying this back to heavy metal, the pushback, do you think they moved up the Wag Me Son tweets because they typically only tweet on Thursday, and then all of a sudden we had Monday, Tuesday, and today tweets from 10KTF specifically about the Puma stuff? Or do you think that was already in the wheelhouse?
I think somebody said they from last week it said, oh, we begin on our journey early next week.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. That is true. There was a lot of people speculating that they were like covering up Yuga fucking up again. And I'm like, guys, you realize 10KTF is Yuga, right? Like that's one thing I've noticed so much on the timeline and in spaces is like, I feel like people don't, I don't know, like
people aren't connecting those dots right now.
Not well enough. Cause as a coach, and I think about like the team game, it's like, well, shit, when LeBron's not scoring 40, like somebody else is trying to pick up the slack, right? Like, I don't know. It's all a team. Like you win as a team. It's not like, oh, you got fucked up, but we're 10KTF and we're fucking rock gang. Like, I don't know. It's a super weird take to me. Very weird.
Indeed.
But you know what? Speaking of 10KTF, did you see the ape coin voting that ended today?
I did not.
And I feel like a bad DAO participant because I didn't participate.
You did not. I did, and I abstained on a couple of the votes because I found myself having a hard time going either way.
Yeah. I glimpsed at a few of them, and I was like, I don't know. I didn't have enough time to really like sit down and be like, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or like, heck yeah. Or like, heck no.
Congratulations to the Damn Show because they got some ape coin for, it looked like they were going to do some giveaways, and then obviously we know this, when you have other jobs outside the space, doing any kind of like production, etc., post-production, like that's hard to be super focused and get it done in a timely manner because you're getting paid zero, which I mean, most people that are doing this are getting paid zero. So that'll be helpful for them to be able to outsource some of that and get things turned around faster. And they've been killing it. Obviously, they were the captains on the one mission in season 1 of 10KTF. So like that's been really dope for them. And I think there is opportunities within Yuga's different ecosystems to have similar experiences if you're able to continue to be consistent. I mean, that's what I would say to anyone that's creating content. If that's threads, if that's, anything, graphics, what's his name? Harry with the freaking threads. He is dropping like massive 30 thread bangers about like the ODK and Animoca and updates on that. And it's like, that is amazing information. It's like, I think if you can continue to push that out, I think it's just like, I'm bullish on the opportunities of content creators. It's just, we're not quite there yet, but you want to be rolling before it takes off. Otherwise you'll be left behind. That's my quick take on that. But congrats to the Damn Show. I wanted to give them their flowers because they it wasn't even that close either, which is great for them. I think they had won by like 2 million votes. And then the other one that was being talked about a lot on the timeline was the Working Group Zero. The stewards thing passed as well. I'm interested to see how that goes because I was hearing pros and cons from multiple different people. So I think that we'll just have to see what happens. Some of the same people are staying in positions, which is great for them. And we'll continue to see the DAO progress. I think we all want more out of it potentially, and there's a lot more that can be done. And so I'll keep a positive view. It's like the first time in my life I've tried to be optimistic, and it's always with like Yuga or Bored Ape things. So even the ApeCoin DAO, I'm trying to be a participant like Will. Like I didn't have a lot of time to read through it, and that's why I did do some abstaining of votes. I'm glad they added that, by the way. I think that's important, that you can still go vote, abstain, and be like at least sort of engaging rather than just feeling like gun to your head you have to say no to somebody, and then you're like, oh shit, they saw that I voted no, and now they fucking hate me. Like I'm a softie for that type of stuff. So that's how I went about my votes, and I didn't vote on everything. When Ape Fest?
I don't know, but I'm going crazy. It's almost been a full year now without an Ape Fest. We went from like 2 within a year to a full year without one.
I feel like a couple months out is what they'll have to give us, right? Like, what's the time frame do you think that they would announce to having it?
Are they going big, or are we doing
I think it's big, dude, but that's just complete guess from me.
Dude, but if it's going big, like you have to have time for word to get out, for people to make plans for whatever. You can't drop it at like this Azuki event that happens at the end of June. Like that's like kind of short notice.
Yeah.
I guess not. It's like 2 months, but like I don't know.
I figured
I don't know if I
3 months out. That's my guess.
I barely know what I'm doing tomorrow.
We're going.
Well, I'll go to Ape Fest as long as I can. Like if it's on.
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean like yeah, I know, but I just mean like in life in general. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. Like
maybe we will hear from Garga here shortly.
Let's hope. When is soon though? Can I get a definition from?
And then there's your follow-up.
He did say soon though. He on that what's his name? Cameron, somebody who
I know what you're talking about.
Films.
Oh,
was on that.
Glad you just made the few brain cells I have left this week fire off. Daniel, the new CEO, is at Consensus in Austin, and he is speaking tomorrow. I'm super pissed that like this was scheduled a long time ago for me, and they just announced this like semi recently. I've got my spring play, so I can't like bail, but I would have drove down otherwise. So I'm like kind of annoyed that happened, but exciting that he's going to be on the mic. It's his first time like doing a real large, Q&A session, and I'm interested to see. I'm sure there'll be some recordings and clips, and people will have it posted all over the timeline just to see kind of like what his first couple weeks have been.
Yeah, agreed. It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully he's got some good info for us.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I feel like most of their interviews for the most part are like rehashing stuff we kind of already knew. I would more be interested to see how he like answers just like his thoughts on NFTs as a whole, because I'm sure he'll get asked that. I'm sure he'll get asked, what is a social membership? I'm sure he'll get asked what is Yuga, and just like how he responds, even if it's your typical answer, it's still the delivery. Like I like to see how people deliver answers. It's not necessarily about what they say, it's how they say it.
Yeah. You want to hear like you want to hear if there's excitement or if there's like he's trying to hold something back, but if there's more, like it's all the little cues that you want to pick up on. Heck yeah, we ride. No,
for sure. Bullish or bearish on? I'm gonna go through some Yuga assets currently at their floor price. Coda's bullish or bearish on their floor price?
Depends.
Neutral until we get more information.
Yeah. So fairly valued currently.
So okay, but hear me out. Let me explain, because like I was doing some planning. I picked up some stuff recently, and it had me like super excited. So let me see if I can throw up.
Appreciate you, William. That's good information. Interview will be aired fully in overpriced JPEGs channel.
Hell yes.
Love it.
Okay. So I picked up this bad boy of a land when the news dropped. And I feel like I have like a fantastic play here. Where the heck did it go?
It disappeared into the abyss now. I cannot.
Okay, annoying. Okay, I'll zoom in. Cool. It is a tier 3 biogenic swampland. The the reason why I'm excited about this one is because, we're covering the bases with the biogenic swamp. Unfortunately, sediment tier 1, but it's a tier 3, so I can have 3 workers on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my weapon coda as the hunter, hopefully to just, smack down all the bad guys on this land. And then I'm going to have 2 farmers. So I feel like that's like a pretty good strat, like right there, right off the bat. I'm like, okay, cool. We've got enough hunter power to kind of like cover the board, and then like two farmers. And this was kind of like my way of like, okay, I've got exposure to, farm some of this sweet biogenic swamp without going crazy, because like the second that you try to go and get some biogenic swamp on like a higher tier, like let's see, environment tier. Well, okay, there we go. If you go to like 4, you're spending 3.5 ETH, and like that just seems like a little crazy. If you go to 5, then you're spending 4.3, and it's just like, bro, like,
yeah, I don't know.
We're taking ETH leaps and bounds at this point, right? So it's like each one you go up, is it worth an extra ETH? I also like to think in like future value ETH. Like, is it worth, and like if ETH is going to 10K, is it worth $10,000 in future value to have that extra spy? And like that shit, I'm like, I gotta pump the brakes.
I don't know.
That's like every goddamn NFT. If it goes to 10K, we're all gonna be like, what the fuck?
Dude,
in the private
and
chat,
I don't think enough people think about that, to be honest.
The private chat, I just posted. Ziggy was asking, what would you do for land 2013? So I just put the
2013. Oh, we'll do some digging. Let's see.
I got it in the private chat. I linked it for you if you wanted it.
Oh, perfect.
I would just transfer that to my wallet, and I'll buy it for like 1.3, and we can call it fair.
And this is one of Ziggy's lands, and this is dope as hell.
Yeah, it's a sick land.
Yeah, man. I would buy full
I'll
codas.
buy for 1.3.
Do you have codas is the first question, because obviously you're gonna want to boost this bad boy with some codas.
That's just a really cool land. It's sediment 1, but still, like, dude, I just like everything about that is dope.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're gonna want a split of like at least 2 or 3 farmers.
Yeah,
and then some hunters, right? You sprinkle some enchanters on top, and you're cooking.
Yeah, that's a nice land.
This is gonna look amazing. Is this the kind of land that we explored? There we go. Is this the kind of land that we explored
maybe
in this recent trip? It kind of gives that vibe.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, maybe a little bit, yeah.
The climbing around on the trees and the whatever. And I don't recognize that kind of stuff.
Or
maybe
like
not. What land?
Well, that's the thing is, I feel like that's so hard to know, dude.
Maybe it was what's the jungly looking one?
Was it this one?
That kind.
Thornwood?
No.
Heck no.
Oh, it might have been Thornwood.
I don't know, dude.
It wasn't that.
Like none of them were exact. How about the one down there? Scroll down one. Scroll down one. The jungle one right there. That one.
Oh, bog to the left.
Nah, this one. That freaking jungle thing right there, dude.
I don't know. Like it was so clear that we were in a bone land at the end of that experience. But this is like kind of a head scratcher. Like
that kind of looks like it.
That's possible. Jungle. Oh, jungle. I mean, I think it was jungle.
Gotta be jungle, dude.
Probably.
All right, let's look at some more jungles. See if we got like some indications. Yeah, I think it was jungles. I think that's probably a good call.
Definitely jungles. It was jungles, foo.
Jungle foo.
It wasn't bog, was it?
No.
No, because bog looks like all the trees.
The color scheme's just off, man. It's just off here.
It's just not right.
Okay, cool. Anyways, I don't want to get too deep into the sauce here, but like
that's the thing. You get lost in other deeds. Go ahead, Bryce.
No, I was going to say it's exciting if starting to get more and more information on land. So we'll slowly everything will find its right value.
This one is very cool.
Would be nice if Blur had trait specific bidding.
Do you think they might add that? Because I feel like a lot of people have talked about it.
No, yeah,
feel
they're
like-
definitely adding it. They
definitely are. I
Pac-Man's
just
put a
don't know
couple
if
different
that's what
places that he was adding
if
it.
that's what their May 1st announcement is or not.
And Ziggy, we aren't really sure about sediment. That's the thing. So like having a sediment tier 1 that doesn't like we don't really know yet.
Yeah, I don't know if sediment tier 1 is like a fully separate material to tier 3 sediment, or if it just means
Yeah.
you produce less of it.
So there's like two options, right? You're either maybe it's I guess a couple options. You're either mining sediment tier 1 biogenic swamp, which could be, the 1, 2, or 3, or it could be an output quantity, like everything is biogenic swamp, and this is how much of it you can produce. Or what's a different one? I think those are the two.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's either different types, 1, 2, or 3, or it is different quantities.
Or maybe it's just like a flow rate, and then you can boost it. Like if you have 2 farmers Mara compared to just 1 farmer Mara, maybe you'll get like a better output.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
I would agree with this. I too think that the likely scenario is that it's pacing.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. It could be like a regenerate
Regenerate.
for how often you can do it. So, yeah, that would make sense.
So we're most bullish, obviously. I think obvious on Legends of the Mara, and it's coming out in May, correct? Still, they haven't changed that, or have they?
I believe so.
Okay.
Which means we should hopefully get even more information soon.
Yeah.
I do not want to have my expectations too high for Legends of the Mara, but like at the same time, I want this to just be like spectacular. Like I just want so many people to play this thing. Like I don't know. But then again, see, like I want to push the expectations really high, but I gotta keep them low, so I can't be disappointed.
No, that's fair. I think just keep him like in an even playing field. Like, don't get too up, don't get too down, and just see what happens. Surprise and delight. Like, I think it'll be fun. I really do. Hopefully, it's something that's like interesting too, and maybe a little bit deep as well. Like, you actually have to do some digging, some research, etc. I think that would be fun because it makes you more tied to it naturally. If you just have to do like 2 things and that's it and set it and forget it, that's kind of, I don't know, that's boring. I actually want, it sounds weird, but I want it to be fun work. Like I want you to actually have to think through some of the things you're doing, which I think they will. Like, come on, everything they've talked about, story building, everything, like games they like, there's going to be 1000% strategy, 1000% many layers, and I'm here for that. Give me something to do when I have free time.
Another thing too that I kind of wanted to point out was that from that tweet, it made it look so much like we've just been staring at this 2D version of this game for so long, right? Like all of the stuff that we have been staring at all along, like all of this, they're all cards, right? I feel like some of this is kind of a hint as to how we will see it, right? Like,
yeah, 100%.
You will take these cards and you will load them into slots that might look like this, right?
Mhm.
And
I
then,
think that's for sure the case.
yeah.
Why else
I don't know.
Why else would they put the graphic like that? That would be.
So here's a question: do we get an animation? Will there be like some little Kodamara or some
be
Mara
sick.
or something kind of floating back and forth on the land to show that it is currently in a used state where they're farming it or some shit? I don't know.
That would be.
Or is it going to be different, or is this just way too basic and it's going to be more epic?
Maybe you load it
right?
out, but there's also like you load your game, but then you actually go into the game. You know what I mean? Like where you can kind of
Yeah, it's
explore
possible.
the 2D experience. I don't freaking know.
Is possible.
Does heavy metal play into this? Let's see.
No.
Into Legends of the Mara, I don't think so.
Separate. I'm still so confused about heavy metal more than Legends of the Mara. Legends of the Mara, we have information. We know it's kind of up there, and heavy metals, I'm just like, I don't fucking know.
Dude, so if at the end of heavy metal is ultimately like we get to play this play to earn type style blockchain game, like
Be kind of sick.
and you can like wager and like maybe not wager, but like
Didn't it also
there's some high stakes involved.
put up-
Like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Didn't it also look kind of like in that new sketch that they had tweeted out that Gary drew that it, like you take the traits and you could potentially sell them and trade them? Didn't that kind of look like it? Like all the pieces were apart. Like you had the hat off and the freaking left arm and the right arm. Like each piece was like separated.
I'm not sure if it was saying that or if it's saying like that's how like there's different traits for.
I mean, it's definitely calling out like the different parts, right?
Yeah, right.
Like it would be like fur, face,
Yeah,
or whatever, eyes, blah 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 blah. So like,
or maybe
yeah,
it's
I don't
simply
know.
just
I mean,
talking about the amount of traits, because then Garga, like our friend is saying here, of course, the goat of information. Yeah, he had definitely said that there's a million traits and he's excited about it. So maybe that's simply all they're doing is showing like there's going to be so many different combinations, etc. Like that would make sense for sure.
dude, when you look at some of this stuff though, like there's just so much detail. Like obviously, like it takes them forever to build all of this and to model it all and to whatever. Like I mean, freaking props, man. It's insane.
I love that freaking
There's
chain,
so much stuff. And then at the end of the day, they come out and they release this image, right? Where it's like you've got all these little fun little things to look back on.
Yeah, so sick.
You've got what looks to be beer.
Definitely beer.
Someone said ape water, and the one of the ape water guys was like, I think that definitely says beer. We've just got a paw print on here. Like nobody's talked about the paw print.
Mm-mm.
But like, there's another indication for like dogs.
Yeah,
dogs to me.
What does that say?
I don't know.
Sweet sheet pal.
Sheet pal. Hello.
Beer
hollow. Hollow question mark.
Also, it looks like a human hand.
What is this? This is a little like flip phone. Like, whoa, hold up. What are we doing here?
That's definitely a flip phone. Glasses.
Are these 3D glasses?
Definitely.
Interesting.
And this is like a mouth dragon head.
This is my this is my heavy metal right here. I'm just gonna manifest that shit. I don't even have a reverb, but like, yeah, that's cool.
Definitely cool. And again, I love these little pieces of the story that they give us. It just makes it fun. Feel like a kid again, to be honest. Tamagotchis. Yeah. I'm freaking calling it.
Yeah, they do have this bone in here again. Again, though, it's red this time. So like whenever there's something having to do when I think when Curtis picks it up, it turns green. I wonder if when somebody else picks it up, if it doesn't turn green. I don't know. There was just some weird tidbit from previous.
Did they say exactly when Heavy Metal's coming out, or did they just say a couple weeks?
No, they just threw another.
Yeah.
Okay.
April or May.
Yeah, May. Okay.
I can't believe it, dude. We're already 8 of 10. Like we've booked it down this timeline.
For real. We're only 4 months in.
Yeah. So now they just moved it to May and then begins June.
Okay.
But no early May, no late May.
Because it was
May,
April,
no
begins
early June,
May. So yeah, they're
June.
pushing it back a full month.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like, obviously when that happens, people are going to be disappointed. But like at the same time, we were praising this transparency from the get-go.
That's the whole thing, dude. We either get it, we can't have it both ways. You either get silence and then it drops on your head, or you get, here's our rough timeline, and this kind of gives you an idea of where we're headed. But guess what? Sometimes there's delays. Like, I don't know. Like, again, I was ready to go. I was ready to rock and roll. But, dude, there's so many delays in, like, games of all types. And so the fact that we think that it's going to be exact, I don't know. It's kind of absurd.
Yeah, right.
Kind of absurd. 100,000 Tamagotchis are hard to build. Yeah, for real.
Thank goodness we've got what was it? Some of the stuff that NFT Statistics has put out recently. It's like we've got like less than 10,000 traders in the market right now, or something like that. So 100,000 Tamagotchis. Good thing we still have 10,000 traders to get them across the finish line.
Hey, there we go, baby.
Everybody gets 10 Tamagotchis.
So technically, we should have no problem,
dude,
hatching all of these vessels. Because let me tell you, we had 10,000 moonbirds get nested on day one.
True.
Instead of accepting $100,000 bids.
Oh, yeah.
So burn on that one a little bit, just put a little salts or something. But hey, these are a fraction of the cost. A fraction.
Fraction.
So we should be good to hodl these, right, guys? Right.
Yep.
Right. Surely.
Right.
I will hodl, so will you.
I really am excited about it though. And I know you're trying to temper expectations. I appreciate you for that actually, because sometimes I need to be like off
Easy,
the
fella.
hopium. Yeah,
Right
exactly. Bricked up. Like, oh shoot. But I appreciate you like bringing me back to earth. But I am excited because I really do think if they do it right, it'll be something that people talk about and that they do enjoy. Like I truly believe that. And if it's pretty dope, half the time I will fucking hate it, even if it's like pretty fucking dope. So that's just the space. That's just the space.
That'd be the space.
Well, we're almost at the top of the hour. Any last minute thoughts or wonderments, me bits? Yeah, we still haven't gotten anything. Are you surprised by that, Will? I know that you've kind of talked about it quite a bit. Are you like it feels like
Just
something has to be coming at like soon-ish, but I feel like we've said that for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been saying that for like decades now. Me bits
7 lifetimes.
feels like it was the perfect setup earlier. I was like looking at the chart for kennel clubs and I was like, remember when it was the beginning of the year and everyone was like, oh, what's the play? Oh, I don't know. What's the play? And then like everybody had like faded the crap out of dogs. And then like suddenly like everybody wanted dogs because they want to have them, they want to participate to the fullest of their ability. And if owning a dog means you get extra utility, then you're going to want it. And so it was like, okay, I mean, you've got 30,000 apes that could potentially pair up with only 9,900 and whatever dogs. And so they started running, right? I mean, they went from like 4 until, here, I'll pull up the post. They went from like 4 until 12 almost.
Like 12, yeah, they flew.
They cooked, man. They absolutely cooked. And so I'm going to put my flag in the sand right here. And I'm going to say 2 ETH me bits. As long as we don't fly to infinity on ETH, like 2 ETH me bits within the next couple months, feels like it's going to be the cooker of a lifetime.
I see that one that you shared with me. It's still up. I don't want to pay that price for that, but
which one did I send?
Basketball
101.35.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every once in a while, I see some, and I'm like, what trait are you looking for? Are you looking for a blondie?
Yeah, I like the blonde because I'm blonde, and I like the beard. Actually, I like the beards on the me bits personally. I think they're dope. That one is pretty fire. I'll be honest. It's a good.
Let's go ahead and just take a little look-see poo. See what we got on the me bits front.
Because there are a lot that I don't like as well, though. Like in the same token, like I feel like I look through these a lot, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, some of them really just don't rub me the right way, and I'm like, eh.
The shirtless chest hair ones are kind of weird, to be honest.
The other one with this one is like he is so
Flag.
But that's the other thing too, though, is like, you can go in and you can pick out aesthetics and whatever and blah, 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 blah. And like, I'm sure it would be fantastic, but like at the same time, like just getting the cheapest entry you can just so you could exit them later, like without really being like married to your bags, probably not a bad play either.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just knowing I'm dumping to blur bids.
Yeah.
If they exist after May 1st.
Because if it's one that you're like, yo, I spent eons looking for this guy, and then you finally get him, and then you're like, oh my God, the floor went from 2 to 12. Like, I need to dump this thing immediately. But you're like, but I love this one. But then it's like,
I should get 2. Got it. I got it. I should get
5.
Oh.
Sell them on the way up.
So I'm personally
that one right there.
About,
Will that one?
This guy?
Blonde. That's the one you sent. That one's kind of fire.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, 0.8 above the floor. I don't know about that.
That's the thing. I would not. I would send an offer. Like, I don't even know. I like that freaking other one. That white hat right there with the glasses. Yeah, that's kind of a vibe.
He's interesting.
Looks like interesting. Quinn 19.
I just like the vibes, dude.
I think I really want this one's. I don't know. I kind of want to do a similar play to how I played captains. With these is like, buy them when I feel like they're just criminally undervalued, and then accumulate an unhealthy amount, and then just ride that conviction to the finish line. And then when they start going up, just start DCAing out and slowly peeling off the layers and being like, okay, we pumped a little bit, like maybe they still cook some more, but I'm going to take a couple off, take some profit here along the way, and just start slowly trimming them back.
Yeah.
As well.
Because like that has been a pretty decent strat. I mean, obviously that is a good strat to have, but yeah, I'm not gonna like roll up and be like, I want this one in a suit for $395 and then just toddle it to the grave. Like, I don't know.
That's fair. I saw a pig one sell for $3 something.
Oh man. Oh hey, this is one I have.
Oh, nice.
I'm farming some listing points. If you got some NFTs, you gotta chuck them up right now because you're literally getting paid to list your NFTs. This is the other one I have. Nice.
Will, can we preach to our friend when he says enough activations? Can you pull up their homepage?
Dude, I might have to buy a hoodie. This is so dumb.
You're kind of nice.
I've wanted a hoodie up one for a little while.
We'll call up the MeBits page.
Oh, turn on .mebits.app.
Yes. And this is why
we are bullish MeBits.
I'm bullish. I don't even have one yet.
I have one that I bought for entirely too much.
Well, 3 at
so yeah,
2.7.
We're currently at MeBits 1.1.
Yeah. We got this whole thing. We got a whole time.
Daniel, this is why, Daniel. This is
hold
why.
on, I gotta turn the audio.
1.2, 1.3, 1.4. They're cooking.
Essentially, MeBits are upgrading to their 2.0 era. And so, like, to me, like the 1.1, like there was an exclusive poster claim that you could get. So you could like download your print, or actually they literally sent them out for free. All of these like little prints of the MeBits, and they're like super high quality. And it was just kind of dumb little thing because it was like free and whatever. But like to me, it's like, okay, you got.
I would have taken a freaking Bored Ape poster for free.
Yeah, when's money coming,
dude? Right? I would have been very pleased with that. But anyways, here's my take. Yuga bought the MeBits IP along with the Bored Ape or with the punks. I don't know if I've said this spiel before, but I'll just say it real quick.
It's worth repeating, even if
they're not going to flex their muscles on punks. They're going to respect punks. They're going to try and be great brand ambassadors for punks without screwing them up. MeBits, on the other hand, like you have to do something with these. If not, why did you buy them? And why did you turn royalties on and all of these things? So it's like, okay, yeah, maybe. I mean, like, if all they did was buy them because they wanted the royalties, like that seems like a pretty flawed strategy. But Gordon came on and he said, oh, he's already been thinking about all of the things that he wanted to do for MeBits. And that was before he kind of took his break away. So ultimately, I think Yuga is going to come out extremely strong and really flex what they can do for these already metaverse ready avatars. And so, yeah, I don't know. We're expecting games the same way that we're getting games in the Bored Ape ecosystem and games in the Otherside ecosystem. The brand lead, what is his name?
Danny Green. Yep.
Whoops, Danny Green.
Oh, he was showing up.
Yeah.
Go, Danny Green.
There you go.
He is the MeBits brand lead for MeBits. Yeah. Anyways. What I'm trying to say though is like this guy has dropped some tidbits of alpha saying that, I had said something. I had posted on somebody's post about like the only thing MeBits have done so far is drop a poster. Like, what the heck are you guys cooking over there? And then somebody was like, oh, I didn't think about them actually like doing something else other than, like they could have their own little mini game ecosystem inside MeBits. And then Danny responded and he was like, who said anything about mini? So like,
And then he deleted that, didn't he?
He did delete it.
Yeah.
Which
That
that's like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
For sure.
So anyways, I
gotta buy one. I gotta decide to spend money.
Do it.
All I'm saying here is that like 2 ETH, like what is the downside? 2 ETH, they go to 0. And they're not going to go to 0.
Did, Daniel. You're right. We did, but we're doubling down now, Daniel.
What?
We did this spiel a month ago. Yeah.
I know. But
that's true.
I'm still here for it. I'm tripling down at 2 ETH.
Now we're just even closer to them going crazy.
I have to be. I mean, naturally, we've gone forward in time.
Yeah.
Another hot take.
Yo.
You know what else is above 2 ETH right now?
No.
What?
20,000 clones, where all you get is discount codes. Moonbirds, where all you get is mint passes for art shows. If you're into that, great. And then Doodles, where you get digital socks. So if you think Yuga is gonna like perform better than that on their Meebits collection, then like 2 ETH's kind of a steal right now.
True.
I know that these price points aren't exact, but heavy metal or Meebit.
So like that's the weird part, right?
You have a heavy metal, so I would go Meebit for the exposure. But if it's one, like if you don't have either or,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't know. If you're into gaming in that aspect, I'd probably go heavy metal because that's going to be like its own.
What about one Bored Ape or 5 Meebits and however many mutants you can get?
I would do the Meebits and mutants route. With plans to take profit.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So the other thing is, when we had 30,000 apes going for 10,000 dogs, we saw what happened. Now, what happens when you have 30,000 apes, 10,000 punks, potentially some of the crowd over in KTF, and what on the other side? So what happens when you have all of those people that aren't going to be like, I'm not buying into the Bored Ape ecosystem, because some people still have their gripes and they don't want to get into the ape ecosystem, but they're like, hey, like I respect punks from Matt and John. Like,
sure.
Like, I think I would give Meebits a try. Right. I feel like there's Meebits will ultimately appeal potentially to more new investors or buyers.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I can see it.
I think I did I compared them a while back. I'm curious to see what it is now. The holder count for Meebits and the holder count for mutants. Obviously, when you just have more people wanting to collect, there's greater. Oh my goodness, dude! It's almost kind of pathetic. There's 6,555 owners of Meebits.
Wow.
That's it, really?
That means
isn't that
dude,
concerning?
honestly,
though?
like this, yeah, it's concerning. It means that there's nobody holding freaking Meebits. It means they're concentrated in a few wallets. But like right now, we have like this weird opportunity where like we've pulled a lot of supply from other holders, and now they're in the blur vortex where they're just getting farmed back and forth, which ultimately has pushed the price down. So what happens when you apply real demand to the vortex floor where there's like the free floating supply of Meebits? Well, suddenly that all gets bought up, people delist, whatever, and we actually go to something that's a little more true value-ish, right? So I don't know. 6,555 holders of Meebits seems criminally low. Mm-hmm. There's 11,184 owners of mutants.
Wow.
So almost twice the amount of holders.
So then that's where like I'd almost rather wait until they start to bounce, because I don't know, man. Like I remember looking at freaking Meebits when they were like 3.5, and I was like, "Ooh, this feels good." And now we're like not that far down the road, and it's like almost too flat.
Well, yeah, that's where it's just
at some point
you pull the trigger. So
yeah.
I think these could go from like 2 to 3 a lot faster than they're going to go from 2 to 1. And so you have to just
That's fair.
determine whether or not the risk versus reward is there for you.
I would
right?
agree with
Like,
your statement too. I think there's 100% a better chance going to 3.
and maybe you stick the flag in the sand at like sub 2 if we dip down. I mean, like bids are at 2 right now. They are kind of mild. There's 28 bids. So yeah, I mean, they could potentially take a little nosedive below 2, but I think that's going to start waking up a lot of people that are going to then say, you know what, I'm going to buy this now. Like 2 ETH, I'll take the gamble on 2 ETH. Like, let's go.
ApeCoin equal to Amebit or Amebit?
Oof, that's tough.
ApeCoin.
I would probably say ApeCoin and then rotate it into Amebit.
Yeah.
ApeCoin feels like it's more primed first, but also it very much depends on the market.
I know.
I'm ETH, and that it hurts sometimes. So
I'm giving you a lot of tough like verses, but that's the point of the show, right? ApeCoin is
I mean, like this is the kind of crap that I think through all the time, anyways, right? It's like if I was way more bullish on Meebits than I was on ApeCoin, then I would have already sold my ApeCoin, right? So it's like it's definitely good to like rethink those things through and kind of like validate like, yes, okay, this is why I'm holding this, because I do think ApeCoin in the short term, well, and quite frankly, long term will have better price action, but it very much depends on whether or not we get people coming in and playing games, right? Like,
Yep.
People want to spend ApeCoin.
But we've seen that Yuga can make people spend ApeCoin, right? Like, how much ApeCoin did we spend on the first Dookie Dash and the Toad mode? Like, I had no business spending ApeCoin on Toad mode.
I mean, it's also because we were playing for something, so it'll be interesting to see what we're playing for in these next games.
Yeah.
Okay, so hot take real quick. Maybe were mocking OpenSea when they talked about rewarding their loyal holder or their loyal NFTs. Users of their products with NFTs, but like it actually like kind of works in the sense that if we're releasing gaming assets and you put those NFTs as prizes and whatnot, like that's something that I think Yuga can do.
Agreed.
Is they can dangle the carrot and say, do this and you get that, right? So it's like they're not going to be like, oh, we're going to give a Bored Ape, but like they can like make.
No, I got you. They can make.
They're very much proving out that like metadata matters, and like they've said everything going forward now, like all this stuff is dynamic, and so it's like I think that for them, anyways, is opening up this huge gate of like untapped potential where we haven't seen people really do a whole lot with this like play to earn metadata kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think, I mean, it's true. Like if you go and look at it, like what do you do when you buy a gold fur Bored Ape? You're buying metadata.
Yeah.
True.
I'm a fan.
It's true. Well, gents,
we went over.
We did, but it was worth it. There was a shit ton that happened again though. Like we've said that a lot this year, but there's a lot of shit happening. So I'm excited. I'm interested to see how the shoes do. God bless. If I win the pre-mint, I'm probably gonna buy these damn Puma shoes.
I just signed up for my pre-mint. Yeah, I totally was gonna forget about it.
Yeah, I need to.
You're freaking welcome, my brother. Adidas copping or not tomorrow?
Probably.
I think I'll get
a pair of shoes. I could use some nice clean sneakers.
Yeah. I'll give it a love to Adidas, Stripe Life, and a little Indigo love.
Especially for like normal priced merch. Yeah. I'm like, I'll take a normal priced merch with my ape on it.
Yep. Agreed.
What's the payment here? Is it credit card and all that? Oh yeah, it's
Adidas. Yeah.
Interesting.
Are they taking ape at all? Does it say on there or no?
They
did it through token proof, so that was just
let's briefly talk about that, dude. That's so awesome.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like that makes me so happy, like inside that, like, this company that was born from Web3 is like going to absolutely crush it, dude. Like token proof. This is it's still like if I could get in and like invest in another round of token proof, like put me on there. Cause like token proof, I was about to make a meme that was like, the Drake meme where it's like, yeah, or like, nah. And like, I was going to do like token proof and Ticketmaster. Like, dude, that's literally what token proof is up against right now. If they can just, be way more agile and like interface with all of these different brands, like it just makes the crossover from like token to like integrating with your websites like smooth as butter. Like they're gonna crush, and they're clearly already doing that.
It was slick as shit when I set it up today too. Like it was so freaking slick. It was easy, seamless. Like what the flip.
Yep.
Hats off to Fonz and the team. Token proof. We love to freaking see it. Well,
dude, and freaking shout out to freaking Adidas for like using a Web3 native product. Like,
that's true. Very true. I think Adidas has done some good things, especially lately. So that's exciting. Definitely excited that they're pimping and rocking the ape. That's super freaking dope. I'm also excited about the alts thing. I'll be honest with you. I think that's a cool play that they're doing, and I'm interested to see what that turns into. So
I honestly like I used to be tapped into that, and then I traded them and sold them off. Haven't done anything, but like I saw the trailer, and the trailer looked good, right? So like
badass. Yeah.
Did they already do like the ApeCoin pay to upgrade kind of thing?
Yeah,
they did the key. You could buy a key and then choose.
And it's through May 1st, I think, and then all the non-key holders, everybody just gets auto
signed. Okay, so if you bought the key, it's the universal key. Is that going price like half an ETH? Is that the amount extra that it costs? It costs about 0.1 to upgrade to the universal.
I don't remember, to be honest with you. Sure. And it was random. Either you got the general manager key or the universal key. If you got the general manager, you had like 24 hours early. So we'll see. Like we'll see. The drip alts are selling for over an ETH, which is not surprising because that was like I think there's like maybe 3% of them were that. Is the most rare. So we'll see, man. I like what they're doing. I like some of the changes they've made, and so I'm hopeful that they've turned the corner, and I think they have. And like you said, like this is dope as hell that they literally partnered with Token Proof for this. Like that's freaking crazy when you think about it. It's like actually crazy. Right. But gentlemen, I think that's it. That's a show. That's a wrap. I want to say thank you to everyone that tuned in. We had a nice crew tonight, as always. We love the regulars and we love the new folks that swung by. If you're not following us on Twitter yet, please do. If you want to come through and talk at any point, like if you want to just shoot the shit with us, just like this on the stream, let us know. Like we'd love to have guest appearances from all of our friendly faces. You don't even have to show your face. If you don't want to show your face, we can do anonymous as well. We like to show our ugly mugs, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. So last words, gents. I'll go to Will, then Bryce, and we'll wrap.
Nothing. Honestly, I'm cooked on this week, man. It's almost
time. For real.
I hear
Thanks for swinging by, and stay bored.
Stay freaking bored. Amen. We are out.
Peace.
That money clip us now, the new now looks like whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like whoa, 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 whoa. I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, Vintage frames on my face, looking like I'm from the deep. No Cartiers, pockets deep, 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 bro.